This week has been noteworthy for justice, with my focus on environmental issues, consequently environmental justice. In a significant verdict pronounced on 13th February 2024, the National Green Tribunal, NGT, took a firm stance against National Highway Authority of India, NHAI, for numerous environmental violations linked to the construction of NH148 NA. A 110-page judgment rendered by a distinguished bench comprising Justice Prakash Srivastava, NGT Chairperson, Justice Sudhir Agrawal, Judicial Member, and Dr. A. Senthilvel, Expert Member, addressed pivotal concerns such as illegal diversion of Charagah land, or you can say grazing land, illegal tree felling, tree cutting. Justice was not only sought but also served, as NHAI was directed to pay a substantial environmental compensation of Rs 45 crores within 3 months. This amount is mandated to be deposited with the Haryana State Pollution Control Board, emphasizing the financial accountability of entities involved in environmental violations. The landmark decision establishes a crucial benchmark for environmental compliance, underscoring the significance of legal action against activities detrimental to the environment. The petitioner, a courageous young individual from Haryana, Prem Mohan Gaur, played a pivotal role in bringing attention to the violations. Despite the involvement of 3 districts in the matter, the NGT's timely and decisive judgment showcases the efficiency and effectiveness of legal process in addressing environmental concerns. To understand this important legal win better and hear from the petitioner Prem Mohan Gaur, tune to this discussion. So I'm glad to welcome Mr. Prem Mohan Gaur to this program. Mr. Gaur, can you please provide me a little background on the case?
Certainly, Mr. Mishra. This case is actually related to the link road of Delhi-Vadodara-Mumbai Expressway, and the stretch that is under dispute was of from Faridabad-Ballabgarh bypass to KMP interchange, which is a 59-kilometer of a stretch. Basically, this relates to majorly to 3 villages. That is Paroli village, that falls in Palwal district of Haryana, and Hajipur village, that is a part of Gurgaon district of Haryana, and the third one is Giranj, that is a part of No district. So basically, these are adjoining 3 districts at that particular place, and these 3 adjoining villages has this 3.5 kilometer stretch of this particular road. And the grievances that I had regarding this particular project was the Charagah of village Hajipur was diverted without necessary and mandatory permissions from the Hajipur Panchayat, or you may even say the BDPO Sohana, because Sohana is the tehsil in which Hajipur falls in. And apart from that, there's a protected pond in Kiranj village, and that was protected by Haryana Pond Wastewater Management Authority. A particular UID has already been given to the same in 2018. So what happened was NHAI acquired the pond, but they did not take the necessary permissions for raising construction in the pond. So what they did was, out of the 2-acre pond, 0.58 acre of the pond was filled, and construction of the road was raised over it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, this pond was actually adjoining Gurgaon Canal. Yeah, you want to say something? Please go ahead.
So as you said, there was an UID. UID is some identification number, unique identification number. And was
That's
it
the
given
unique
by the
identification.
government?
Yeah, it was given by Haryana government. The Haryana Pond Wastewater Management Authority is an act. Yeah, and via the same it was given.
Great. So what motivated you to file a complaint against the National Highway Authority of India? I mean, it is a huge organization. So what
Yeah.
motivated you?
I'll tell you, my father was into Huda department, and the entire family background that I have, that's or my ancestors were into farming, and
Right.
back in 19 yeah, and back in 1995, my father left the village, and for our studies only, he took us out, and we have started staying in Gurgaon now, not at my native place. But ultimately, my father always targeted, that is Shri Om Prakash Gaur. He always had this in mind that the basic purpose of education is development, be it of an individual, be it of society. And if it could be done for the entire society, it could be wonderful. So I had a soft corner for my native area. And when this road was constructed, there was a ramp made in that area, stating that access to the local residents would be given. And just for the sake of that, even trees were cut. So basically, whenever trees are cut from protected forest, there's a justification note that is given, and the justification note, the NHAI has stated that to remote areas, access would be given. However, no access was given, and I found it, fooling the villagers, the village residents, and the entire area, just for the sake of just for the sake of, I mean, just in the name of development. And then at that too, the entire environment was getting demolished of the area. So that actually pushed me, and that actually motivated me that if our environment is being destroyed, then we should probably get some benefit out of it. And if not, then our environment should be restored at least. There should be something which should be done, because in the long run, it will impact all the residents of the area. So that was the main motivation, because I could not, take my dear village residents getting affected. Of course, I am pro development. I certainly want the area to get developed, and I am pro Indian. I really want that this is a wonderful project. I only intended that environment should not be hampered, and if hampered, then principle of sustainable development should be followed. That it should be balanced out. People should be given benefit of the project.
Right. So you told about one that the pond was half filled, almost to some extent it was filled. Then you said about tree cutting. So there were, but I was seeing that the order is having some 6 violations by NHAI. So all the 6 violations probably you raised.
I raised somewhere around 11 to 12 violations. Out of 11 to 12 violations, yes, the report that was submitted by the joint committee that was formed by the Honorable NGT, they did find violations, but any NGT stated that since it is only related to environment, then they intended to focus on the 6 violations. And out of those 6 violations, I've already communicated 2 to you. And the further there was a storm water channel. Basically, this channel was utilized for evacuating the flood water of the region. Whenever there's a monsoon, there are chances that because that entire area is in depression, and whenever huge rain comes, and then that leads to water accumulation over there, and due to waterlogging, there could also be a health hazard for the local residents. So this particular there were 2 storm channels basically. Both of them were encroached, and not just destroyed; they were encroached, and the construction of road was built over it. Apart from that, yes, 263 trees were cut from the Charagah of Hajipur woodlot forest, and no compensation for the same was given. And more than 100 of trees were cut from Kiranj as well, Kiranj village. And apart from that, there was also a culvert that was strategically placed through the Sohna Palwal road. That's the point where the new NHN 148 NA, that's the road we are talking about, intersects the Sohna Palwal road. There was this culvert which was actually destroyed. This was strategically placed to to channelize the storm water from one side of the road to the other side. That was also destroyed. And apart from that, yes, of course, there were revenue rastas which also got destroyed, and even the over bridges, the minor over bridges over the Panchayati rastas were in a wrong orientation were developed, destroying the local environment completely. So though these are a few of the violations which were there.
When did you file this application or file the case with the National Green Tribunal?
This I filed this in 2022, but prior to filing it, I did follow up with NHAI for almost a year, because prior to it, it was close to this entire thing happened during the COVID-19 period, and things were all shut mostly. The court was always open, but I was doing my research, and being a law-abiding citizen, I certainly thought that I should first get in touch with the local authorities, the concerned authorities. Multiple grievances were registered with NHAI and even the state government. And then when I could not find, a relevant remedy, then I was actually pushed to approach NGT.
So before NGT, as you said, you went to certain authorities. So who were those authorities in case of such kind of violations? Because NGT is dealing with various kind of environmental issues. When we talk about NHAI, I don't think that when it is pond water or drain, the Haryana State Pollution Control must have taken care. So which were the authorities you approached?
So I'll tell you, as I said earlier, the point and the 3.5 kilometer stretch actually falls in 3 districts. So that was a bit confusing for me as well. And even I did notice, whether it was intentionally from the local government officers, or they were themselves confused in which part of falls under which territory. So it was not, things were not, very much clear at the beginning. So this made me approach Deputy Commissioner Gurugram. I also approached Deputy Commissioner. Yeah, I also approached Deputy Commissioner Palwal. I approached Deputy Commissioner Nuhu. I approached the PWD Superintending Engineer Nuhu. I approached the Forest Department Haryana. I even approached Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And apart from that, yes, the Revenue Department as well, the Tehsildars of all the 3 areas. I did approach them, the block development panchayat officers of the 3 districts. I certainly approached them, and I even approached NHAI. I went to meet them all personally, and I even went to meet the pollution control boards of all the 3 different areas, for Palwal as well, for Nuhu as well, and even for Gurgaon. I went and met all of them. So they were, around close to 20-30 officers that I met to get this sorted out.
But you see, you applied in 2022, and in the earliest part of 2024. In fact, I was seeing that the order was reserved in probably November 2023. So it was quite speedy, I think. The way the judgment, if we see, it is more than 112 pages, I think. So such a huge work within a very short time. So it shows that your groundwork was strong, as well as the speed of judicial system. Even
I really appreciate it.
What were the challenges you faced in between?
So challenges, as you just rightly stated, I'm really grateful to judiciary and the process the judiciary has in place, how fast this was taken up and sorted out. And certainly Honorable NGT is amazing in the kind of work that is being delivered. Of course, I'm actually nobody to comment about the judiciary, but yes, certainly I'm very happy the way this has actually been dealt with, and the results have come up. And this actually strengthens the citizens' confidence in judiciary, and I'm really happy about it. And at the same time, yes, you rightly stated, my groundwork was really strong. Why I would say this is because during the time period when I was actually meeting all those officers, the key point that I ensured was that I got everything in writing. Whatever I was communicating, it was all in writing. I was taking the due receipts from them, and they were also responding in writing. So they provided their own reports. The concerned officer certainly visited the area. They provided their reports, and since the reports were already there, so most of the groundwork was already done. And then post that, when NGT Orders joint committee, all that groundwork and all those reports actually worked out, and it was all crystal clear during the hearings, during the proceedings.
Right. So, if you see, the NHAI has been asked to pay 45 crore rupees as environmental compensation. Do you believe that the compensation is adequate? And how do you expect it to be utilized for the restoration and rejuvenation?
Right. So, Honorable NGT has in its order defined environment pretty well again in the same order. And I really expect this entire amount gets utilized for the development of the two villages, specifically Kiranj and Hajipur. And this can be a wonderful, amount. And I'm pretty happy with this amount because this would actually lay down foundation for the next 100 years for a really good sustainable life that people can enjoy for the upcoming 100 years, and they can utilize the basic necessities which are not available at the ground level right now. Because I mean, in that area, I would tell you, we have underground water problem. So since Gurugram Canal is there and there's a storm water channel involved, then I mean, I do expect that a train could be developed and getting that connected to nearby ponds can really help in raising the underground water levels. Apart from that, basic sanitation facilities like having sewage treatment plants, and then also drinking water facility, ROs, and of course these are all additional to the three major aspects. One is the pond in Kiranj, then the drain that has been destroyed, and the third one, the Charagah, that certainly is the priority that should certainly get developed. And of course, trees must be planted in the area because due to the new road, then there would be incoming of a lot of traffic that would also create a bit of a pollution. So yes, if trees are planted, and I'm just looking forward to the entire rejuvenation of the entire environment, and I'm actually willing to work with the government in providing my inputs if I'm allowed, in how to maybe work out for the development of the area. Basic facilities, even like primary health centers, those are also missing. So there are many aspects that can be looked at so that the entire overall development of the area comes out, or maybe they can even target developing the two villages into smart villages. Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Right. No, NGT emphasized NHA's role. In fact, it is very unique, what I saw from the judgment. Um, NGT has emphasized NHA's role and as a statutory body, in fact, and the importance of adhering to environmental laws. In your opinion, how should NHAI ensure compliance with all these environment and forest laws in future?
Well, I'm pretty confident with the judgment that is in place now. This would certainly be a focus of NHAI while developing the further projects. And first of all, let me even appreciate NHAI for the kind of a highway network it is building across the country, and it's really good. It's just that we really hope that these projects are also beneficial to the local people as well. That's what we do intend, and certainly while doing that, more focus should be given to the environment as well. And as far as NHI, whether working on and being whether it will focus or not much on it, but I'm very keen and very confident that this will happen. And about this particular case, I would say that since such huge projects are built, at times it may happen, there are at times chances that they may miss on certain things. But as the honorable NGT rightly suggested and stated in the environment, these are not just formalities. These permissions are strictly mandatory, and a body like NHAI should not overlook them. But yes, after this judgment, I do think that this will actually have some impact, and the officers would be more cautious about such permissions while building the project.
And how do you envision the resolution of this case, particularly this case I'm talking about, your case, impacting future environmental protection initiatives, especially concerning large-scale infrastructure projects? As you rightly pointed out, that NHA is doing, incredible job in creating the highway projects. So, and they are all large-scale infrastructure projects. So, how do you envision that the resolution of this case impacting future environmental protection initiatives?
So this is certainly a boost and a very motivating factor to all the environmentalists, and I'm very sure this would actually instill the sense of responsibility in the violators. They would be certainly very cautious about it, and the trust in judiciary further strengthens. And every environmentalist now would actually have this confidence, because I'll tell you a ground level reality. Whenever anybody who actually fights for environment, majorly we do face this thing that we are discouraged, that nothing would happen. Your efforts might go in vain. But Mother Nature is with us, and the of course the constitution is something that is at the topmost level, which has to be followed by everyone. And the resolution certainly is something that gives a really good push, and would be a motivating factor for everybody to being doing what wonderful things they've been doing about protecting the environment. And yes, it is going to be, I do certainly very strongly believe it will be a very major positive decision for future, that everybody would always feel inspired, and may instill confidence in everyone to pursue such initiatives.
In fact, as you rightly pointed out certain things. One thing I would like to understand, like, when you are also a lawyer, an advocate, and did you go to the tribunal as an advocate, or you went as a common citizen?
I went there as a common citizen. I have recently completed my LLB, so it wasn't like I was already. I mean, I completed my LLB around the same time when we filed this case. But I'm really thankful to my advocates and my mentor. I have in the past I've worked with one senior advocate, Mrs. Nivedita Sharma from Supreme Court. All my learnings have been from her, and now I really want to thank Mrs. Suruchi Mittal, who's amazing during the entire case, who was single-handedly fought to get us justice.
Great. And I came to know that NGT also accepts. I mean, they take cases when a common man goes without hiring an advocate. Is it true? Is it fact?
It certainly is true. I'll tell you something very personal. The first day when I went to NGT for the hearing of this case, it was a three judge bench, and by looking at the honorable justice, the first picture came to my mind was of Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh, and I was like. So that was the first thing that came to my mind, and I was like, okay, now it is in the hands of the God, and I should leave it to God, and I should not worry about it at all. And trust me, the process is so smooth. They listen to you, with so much patience, to all the parties. They look at all the points, and it is not that you necessarily need an advocate to pursue the case in a court. You can yourself also go and fight your case by writing applications. And I've also noticed that they also do take up suo motu cases by even
Yes.
looking at various violations in the newspapers. So
Right.
yes, that's there.
एक थोड़ा सा हिंदी में एक थोड़ा मैसेज, कई सारे लोग ऐसे हैं, हरियाणा से भी मैंने देखा है, कुछ एमपी से देखा है, रिसेंटली इन द रिसेंट टर्म्स कई सारे लोग ऐसे जाते हैं जो कि दे डोंट नो कि कौन सा केस लेना चाहिए, कौन सा केस नहीं लेना चाहिए. वुड यू लाइक टू से समथिंग इन हिंदी to those kind of people? I mean, they don't hire anybody, just they place a complaint, or they just expect that some judgment should come in favor of them. If you can say something about them in Hindi, if you can.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी. सो सर, ऐसा है, जब अगर आप कोई कंप्लेंट फाइल करते हैं कहीं पर भी, उसके लिए सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी होता है कि आपके पास राइटिंग में एविडेंसेस हो. क्योंकि अगर आप अदालत के पास जा रहे हैं या किसी भी अथॉरिटी के पास जा रहे हैं, वो अथॉरिटी आप पर तब तक विश्वास नहीं करेगी जब तक आपके पास कोई तथ्य, कोई सबूत राइटिंग में नहीं हो। लिखित में सबूत होना बहुत जरूरी है। आपके साथ पास फोटोग्राफ होनी चाहिए जिन पे टाइम स्टैम्प हो कि भाई इतने बजे इतनी इतनी तारीख को ये बहुत सारी एप्लीकेशन है गूगल पे जो मिल जाती हैं, आप उनसे फोटो खींच सकते हो, ये बहुत जरूरी है। उसके बाद आपके सरकारी दस्तावेज होने चाहिए, रेवेन्यू रिकॉर्ड जैसे हो गया वो होना चाहिए, वो भी लगाना जरूरी है। और फिर सबसे जरूरी बात कि आप उसमें लिखा भी होना चाहिए। एप्लीकेशन को लिखने का भी एक तरीका होता है कि आपने एप्लीकेशन में मांगा क्या है, आपने वो चीज लिखी होनी चाहिए कि आपको ये चीज चाहिए, क्योंकि जो आप लिखोगे उसी पर ही आगे कार्रवाई होगी। और वो कार्रवाई भी तभी होगी जब आपने कागज लगाए होंगे पूरी तरीके से। नहीं तो इन्वेस्टिगेशंस को फिर आपको फॉलो अप करना पड़ेगा। इससे क्या होता है कि हमारे जो अ, अफसर हैं, सरकारी अधिकारी हैं, उनके पास सिर्फ एक केस नहीं है, उनकी जिम्मेदारी बहुत बड़ी है, वो हमारे पूरे राज्य को चला रहे हैं, उनको सौयों काम होते हैं। और अगर आप खुद सब कुछ तैयार करके उनके पास जाएंगे तो वो भी आपकी मदद करने के लिए तैयार है, लेकिन उनके पास आपको सबूत लेके जाने होंगे, एक एक चीज राइटिंग में लेके जानी होगी, तभी वो कर पाएंगे। नहीं तो अगर वो इस तरीके से एक एक केस के पीछे भागने लगेंगे तो वो तो अपनी जिम्मेदारियों को निर्वाह कर ही नहीं पाएंगे। तो इसलिए मेरी सिर्फ एडवाइस यही है सभी को कि अगर आप कहीं पर भी एप्लीकेशन फाइल करते हैं तो आप ये इंश्योर कीजिएगा, सबसे पहले तो अगर आपको किसी से भी आपत्ति है, पहले तो उसी इंसान के पास जाइए, किसी भी महकमे से आपत्ति है सबसे पहले उन्हीं के पास जाइए, उनको रिप्रेजेंटेशन दीजिए कि सर ऐसे ऐसे दिक्कत है और ऐसे ऐसे नहीं होती। कई बार क्या होता है कि उनकी नॉलेज में ना हो कई बार, क्योंकि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा होता है और उसमें कोई कुछ कमियां अगर रह जाती हैं तो वो सही करने के भी इच्छुक होते हैं जब तक उनको पता लगती है कोई चीज पर, लेकिन लिखित में। और साथ साथ प्लीज इंश्योर ये भी कीजिएगा जहां पर भी आप एप्लीकेशन देते हैं वहां से रिसिप्ट जरूर लीजिएगा हमेशा, ताकि वो आपके काम में आगे आप उस पर फॉलो अप ले सकें, सरकार से आगे पूछ सकें, सरकारी अफसर से आगे पूछ सकें इस पे आपने क्या कार्रवाई करी आरटीआई के माध्यम से। तो ये चीजें मेरी एडवाइस में जरूरी है कि आप इन चीजों को जरूर ध्यान में रखें, तभी आगे आपका जो भी आपकी जो भी लड़ाई है उसमें आप सक्सेस पा सकते हैं। और कोशिश कीजिए कि सरकारी अधिकारियों से मिलके कोई रिपोर्ट तैयार हो जाए कोर्ट में जाने से पहले, ताकि आपको अगर पहले ही कोई रिपोर्ट हाथ लग जाएगी तो आप कोर्ट की भी मेहनत बचाते हैं, कोर्ट को भी आप पर विश्वास ज्यादा हो पाएगा। और कोर्ट का भी समय, जैसे आपने बताया कि 1 साल के अंदर अंदर कोर्ट ने ये सब कुछ कर दिया, वो इसलिए हो पाया क्योंकि रिपोर्ट्स पहले तैयार थी। तो ये सारी मेहनत अगर आप करेंगे तो मेरे हिसाब से सरकार भी हमारे साथ रहेगी और कोर्ट भी हमारे साथ रहेगा। और क्योंकि सरकार भी और कोर्ट भी सब पब्लिक के वेलफेयर के लिए ही काम करते हैं, कोई अपने पर्सनल इंटरेस्ट के लिए काम नहीं करता, पब्लिक के लिए ही इंटरेस्ट के लिए ही काम कर रहे हैं वो सब कुछ। लेकिन आपका पॉइंट ये साबित करना आपको जरूरी है कि आप भी पब्लिक इंटरेस्ट में काम कर रहे हैं। जब आप ये साबित कर देंगे सर्टनली आपके फेवर में रिजल्ट आएंगे।
Thank you very much. You are not only young, you are very bold, very dynamic, and country needs people like you. I'm sure that when you have not even, you were in study, I think, when you were not even a fully, you were not a full lawyer, you were not an advocate. At that time, you made such a remarkable achievement for the society. It has a huge significance for the society. I'm sure in the future there will be much more from you for the nation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your words, sir. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Share your views on this video and share this with as many people as possible. Thank you very much.